Community Conversation. We're joined by Lisa Molinaro, preschool lead coach for Albemarle County Public Schools. Thank you so much for being here.
You're so welcome.
And we are talking today a little bit about the new Virginia Quality Birth to 5 Quality Measurement and Improvement System that's being implemented. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yes, so like if you think back to the mid-1990s, school divisions and states across the country were coming up with ways to monitor and track accountability in student learning. Well, here we are 30 years later, and preschools in the state of Virginia are finally at a point where they're doing that. All preschools that receive public funding are starting this fall, 2023, are part of what's called the Virginia Quality Birth to 5 Unified Measurement System. And it is a way of tracking the progress of our children enrolled in public preschools and how well we're doing what we're intended to do, which is to prepare them for kindergarten. How prepared are they? Are they kindergarten ready is the term. And so starting this year, there are 2 nationally recognized measures, a little bit different than the SOLs, where the SOLs are looking at the progress that students are making on academic standards. While we have academic standards in our preschools, the way that we are measuring the quality of preschool programs is certainly more appropriate for that age of a developing child. We look at quality interactions, and then we look at, are these publicly funded schools using highly vetted and qualified curriculum? We know that when children are in classrooms where the interactions are on point and the curriculum that they are using to ignite a love of learning in kids is an appropriate curriculum, that we have the greatest success in preparing our children for kindergarten. And so the assessments, the way that we look at getting these measurements, the 2 nationalized criteria being teacher interactions and curriculum. The interactions are measured through a tool called the Pre-K Class Observer measurement system. And in that, teachers' classrooms are observed twice a year here in the county by trained observers, our own staff. But then in addition to those 2 observations, they actually have a state observation where somebody from the outside comes in and observes that same classroom looking at the same measures, so that there's some inter-rater reliability and that we know that those scores are valid scores. And so we look at things like the emotional support in a classroom, and that has to do with like what's the positive affect that's being given in the classroom. It has to do with how well do we allow for the regard for student perspective, and what's the level of teacher sensitivity to young children. And then we have classroom organization that's looked at, and then we have an instructional domain. So it's like I said, it's a little bit different in that it's really looking at how inviting is that classroom environment so that young children will come in and feel their full selves to be able to engage in the learning that we do, because we do it through play.
Yeah.
So you have to be I love to say, teaching preschool is an art.
Yes, it 100% is. And we are so fortunate to have you and people like your team doing this. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
So happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll have you back soon.
All right.
We will be right